you know.
Oh,
But I got it back.
rocking the KW. It's there. I love it. All right,
Platinum hat.
ready to rock and roll?
I think so.
I love it.
Turn it on and enjoy.
Why does it give me so many options though? Like I only have one screen to share. All right.
You want me to be your button clicker?
I mean, that's not the hard part. I may need your help allowing Raymond is our, right?
Yep.
Raymond is our guest. He's gonna do their part of the presentation, so I may need your help for showing me how to
Say, come help.
allow him to do his screen share. There we go. Okay. So this is our. How do I get rid of them? All right, well, walk part of my thing. So this is our part of the meeting where, you know, we have you guys tell us something good that's happened in your life this week. And I have this little quote, thanks to Elaine. She gave me some quotes the other day. You can't get much done in life if you only work on the days you feel good, by Jerry West. So anybody have any, tell me something good this morning? Okay, Vicky.
My grandson is being born today.
You love too, baby.
Yes, Logan and little Nash will be here sometime, hopefully this morning.
Oh my gosh, well, hopefully it was a lot quicker than my daughter's 5-day labor.
Well,
my
it's a scheduled
God.
cesarean.
Oh, okay, well, that's better.
Scheduled cesarean for 7:30 this morning, but it hasn't happened yet because they've had emergencies down there and they've been pushed back.
Yeah,
Loma Linda.
nice, and close, that's good.
Yeah, so we were planning on going down, but
We'll be going later.
going later. Well, if she wants company too, because it's all about how mom feels.
Right, and it's weird with COVID, like, I remember when my kids were born, there was like 30 people in the waiting room waiting, and now it's like, no, you can't, there's nobody in the waiting room, it's like a ghost town.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Follow that, everybody.
Dennis would say they should wait till tomorrow.
We should.
Yeah. Yesterday was Will's birthday, but he's not here this morning because he's got a graduation or he went camping. What is his?
All of that.
All of that, yeah. Anybody else? Any good news they'd like to share?
I survived Monday through Thursday of this week.
Lots of the-
Alrighty.
Well, I want to say thank you to Elaine and Tim and Jaylene, for the people that are here, came over to the Lake Arrowhead grand opening yesterday. I mean, packed house. I didn't
Yeah.
expect that. It was spilling out front and beautiful. And the city, Overnolte's rep was there, other councilman reps were there.
Is it Roe? Diane Roe? What's her?
Oh,
Roe.
so it was great, and we are launched, and yeah, come visit sometime.
It's a beautiful office. If you're down there, stop in. Like they're like
They did a
literally,
good job.
literally lakeside. It's really nice.
Set up the corner.
We unickied it.
I know.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
nice.
Cool.
That always helps.
Alrighty. Okay, so now is where I need your help
Okay,
letting Raymond.
I got it.
You. Let me.
And it's not Heather, it's something else with the name Haley. So you guys, FreeModel is sponsoring one of our regional events down the hill, which is how I started talking to them, and they're gonna tell you what they do, basically. Help a seller fix up a property so it sells for more. Right, and I say, can you guys even do Big Bear? And they're here, so they do have an answer for mountain help. So do you want to kick it off and then we'll flip it over here?
Jalen's doing, Raymond's doing all of these speaking for today.
Got it.
That's Raymond.
Raymond, take it away. You might be muted, Raymond.
Yeah, I was waiting. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Take it away.
It doesn't allow me to screen share while you're sharing.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Oh,
Here, how do you get the little bar to come back?
Well, yeah. I should do-
There we go.
We'll get it. Okay, Raymond, try now.
All right, let's see. There we go. I think this should work.
There we go.
All right. I use two monitors, so if I'm looking the other direction. So hi, Raymond, I'm Heather, Heather's counterpart that sits in Florida, but we have the same job description. That Haley's in the room with you, I know. So she'll be able to answer some questions as well, but I'll go over like a high level of what we do, how we can help you out, specific to not only sellers, but also buyers. Oh, let me click the right screen here. So high level overview, we are a full service concierge provider. We design, we plan, and we pay for your clients' pre-sales and post-sales renovations. Haley in the room does all the designing and managing and planning. So overall, we've been around for 3 years now. So we have some experience in doing renovations, etc. We've earned our sellers over $44 million in additional profit. And then we also help buyers maximize their budgets on the buy side, and we'll talk about that. So if anyone's worked with any other pre-sales concierge before, like Curbio or Revive, it's a common question to be like, why us? The agent perspective is really easy, right? Like it's a differentiator in the market. You can tell a homeowner, hey, this house may be worth, totally made up numbers, but 200,000, but if with some changes here and there, we can make it maybe 300,000, etc. You don't have to manage that project. That's where Haley comes in. She deals with all of that. You can be more productive in what you want to do, which is selling and not managing painters, etc. And we take over all the legal and financial risk for not only the homeowner yourself, but also the brokerage. So we handle all of that if there's a situation that occurs. We've done over 350 projects, as you can imagine. Not all of them run smoothly, of course, just statistically speaking, but we handle all of that aspect. So neither your homeowner nor yourself nor the brokerage has to do anything with that. For the homeowner, it's great. There's no cash out of pocket. We don't charge any fees, or interest. They also don't have to manage the project. They make additional profit that they might not have made before. That's if they had, we wouldn't be there. And then they sell it faster because, as you know, like a renovated home is going to sell faster than something as is. So why us in particular? The big differentiator for us is that we have in-person project directors, i.e. the one in the room. So our huge differentiator amongst anyone else is Haley will meet you on site, either with you and the homeowner or just the homeowner. You can be kind of as involved as you want or not. We have a growing network. This is 700 is a little outdated. Probably it's about 800 now of trusted subs. That's in our whole network, but we're constantly onboarding people, not only from agents like yourself, but also our project directors, people we just come in contact with. We have a vetting process, insurance, etc., but we're constantly bringing in new people. And then our headquarters has some specific design capabilities that from CAD stuff, etc. We have a deep design skill subset. So for us, it's really nice. The pre-sales program, we defer that payment up to 1 year. It's paid out of escrow and closing, just like you are. There's no cap on that right now. If the project is 200,000, we can fund it. If it's 300,000, etc. We've done stuff up to $500,000. And we also have no minimums, which is kind of nice. Really, on the internal side, we aim for a 2 times return target. So every dollar that your homeowner is spending, we ideally aim to make them 2.5. Actually, right now we're at 2.3. So we're on a target for that. We don't charge any interest on that money. So you can imagine we have a greater interest to get that project done ASAP, especially in this current environment where your savings account will garner you probably 5% right now. And we have no hidden charges. The final quote for that project is the final price that they will pay on closing. If that's 3 months later, 6 months later, 8 months later, that will be the same price. For us, it's really easy to qualify. So you just take your loan balance, if they have one on the home, plus whatever that renovation cost is. As long as that value is less than 70% of the after renovation value, we will fund that project. on the basis of it. It just includes a simple agreement. That's a home improvement contract. That agreement is with us and the homeowner. So as an agent, you don't have to worry about it. Any project over $50,000 will require a deed of trust. It's just similar to a mechanics lien, just some semantics of it. It's easier for us in terms of timing. And that 1-year warranty will extend to a buyer. I think I have an example. Yeah. So we have an example in here. Say that it's a $500,000 loan balance. The FreeModel cost of renovation is $50,000. It's at $550,000. This is on a basis of and assuming $1 million home value. So 70% of $1 million, $700,000. As long as it's under that amount, we will fund it. This is pretty easy to kind of figure out what we offer overall. So we'll do as simple as cosmetic upgrades. We will go into extensive renovations. The only caveat to that would be we stay within the exterior walls. Like we're not going to add square footage onto a home, but we will do extensive renovations within the present square footage. Design services, as I said, we'll do permitting, all of that process. And then in terms of project types, we've done obviously a lot of pre-sales. We've done a lot of flips, provided that calculus makes sense in the 70% value. Wholesale owner occupied, if they want to live through a renovation, we're able to do that. And then rentals as well. So what we have in scope here, I'll let you guys look at this later, but basically what to pay attention to is out of scope stuff, meaning additions. Like I said, we don't add square footage. We won't do ADUs. Mobile homes are not even possible at all. Rural properties, manufactured homes, commercial properties. We have actually done one office, but I think it was a particular setup, and we don't do new ground up construction. It has to be already presently there. So like I said, we don't charge any interest. So you can imagine that time is super important to us. We want to move it as fast as possible. But this gives you a basic idea of kind of what to expect. So say today you said, hey, I have a project. It'd be easy because Haley's in the room with you, but usually we'll connect you with a project director. They'll set up to meet with you. They'll walk the property, usually within a day or two, depending on scheduling. They'll give you that initial estimate over. You'll sit down with the homeowner with a kind of fixed bid and determine what you want to do. Because I tell project directors, like, give them the full possibility and let the homeowner choose a la carte what they want to do. Once that happens, the contract will be signed. Haley will order the materials and manage everyone that's coming in. And then let's say it's a 4-week renovation, and then we hand it back to you. We don't dictate the price of the home, etc. So you will get your photography, etc., put it in the MLS, and then closing. We have some interesting numbers I'll show you after. Overall, we are well across California in general. This is all the main service areas. So if you have anything outside of the area you're in, we can certainly cover that as well. There's a couple case studies in here. We kept them pretty short, but kind of nice to see. This as-is house was $700,000. The renovation cost less than $60,000, and they sold for $892. It just took 4 weeks, so that was pretty easy, and made $134,000. It's a pretty simple stuff, but they included staging here. We keep everything light, bright, and airy. You know, we design to the greatest numbers of buyers, not to the homeowner's specifics. So we really try to keep it light, bright, usually white, and bring in the most number of people. This one was fun. As is was 1.2. The renovation was a little bit shorter, but 67,000, and they sold it for 1,575, a little over 300,000. Same thing, light, bright, airy, changed the tiling, just made it more open and bright. And then this one is actually my favorite. So this one took a little bit longer, 5 weeks, so they did spend $200,000, but made 600, which is amazing, almost 700,000. Did almost the same thing, bathrooms. They kept the kitchen, actually, just redid the countertop, and then did a lot of exterior work here. So we will resurface and refinish a pool, but we will not build one new. But they did a lot of exterior work and staging here. Lastly, what's really nice, like I said, that time is of the essence for us. So 105 days you see there is the average time for our projects. That includes from when we sign our contract, do the renovation process, hand it back to you, and you close it 105 days. Average profit there is 172,000. Again, that's over 350 projects. I already told you that stat average seller ROI of 230. So every $1 they spend, we get them 2.3 back. And then unless anyone's running a nonprofit in the room, this last one is probably the most important to you. The average commission increase is nearly $15,000. And that, I'll tell you, when I started a couple months ago, was 18%. So it's actually gone up to 19%. So for us, we try to make everything pretty easy for you. If you want to take any collateral, whether it's like postcards to the community, etc., we really make it super simple. You can just go to freemodel.com/resources. You can find any flyers in there. We have listing paperwork in there, like to add into presentations. It's all held in Canva templates, so you can easily drop your photo, your photo, the logo, etc., and make it your own. And then this is obviously a question we get a lot. If you have a project, what do you do? So the best way to go about it right now, we have a new landing page. It's called freemodel.com/deal. It will come up with the same thing you see on the screen, just name, first name, email, etc. And it goes through it. It just asks you certain basic questions of like, what is the as-is value of the home? Where is the home located? What do you think the after renovation value is? What's the scope of work that they're looking to do? Whether it's like a bathroom and flooring, or just maybe cabinetry and countertops in a kitchen or something. And then once that happens, it'll be connected to a client advisor within the company, and then they'll shoot you over to Haley, set up scheduling for you. She'll meet you on site and then go through that process. But it's super simple for you guys. And that's it for me. I kept it quite short.
We have questions. We
Go
have,
ahead.
go.
Is the work after you finished and after we close the deal, is your work guaranteed? With anything that happened, that it was done incorrectly or something like that.
Did you hear that? Okay.
Yeah, that warranty would last a year, and it extends to the buyer as well.
I have a question.
Yep.
How do you source the contractors then for up here?
So we do it in 3 ways. The first one would be our project director network. So project directors, we come on, they're already doing work. It's not like we're taking them out of like school or something. So they already have a pretty good like group of subcontractors, et cetera, that they work with. So they usually onboard them into our system. The second way is you actually. So if you have someone who's like, hey, I have a roofer that like only does roofing, or I have a GC or whatever the case may be, whatever their specialty is, we can onboard them into our system. Because if you have a project that you're like, hey, I really like John, I've worked with him many times before, he does all this work, we want you to use him. So we will onboard him into our system. The requirements we have are pretty simple. One is a certain minimum level of insurance, and the second one is they have to accept electronic payment. And then we will onboard them in our system. So when any projects you do, you can request that specific person to work on your project. The last one, we have a whole operations team that will vet, search, and onboard contractors in any form that we need, whether it's a specific plumber or a landscaper, whatever that need is. If for some reason we don't have a contact that has that connection, they will source those subcontractors.
Do they bring people from down the hill though? Because up here, most of the contractors that are good are booked 6 months to a year out right now.
Yeah, we get that question a lot. So usually what will happen in my experience talking to people is that we have such an experience with the contractors that they'll work, for example, like Haley subcontractors have probably worked with her for a long time, and they'll do more for our project directors than like a homeowner usually would be able to get out of these subcontractors, because they understand the stream of potential business in the future, if not current.
This is making me think of my mom's favorite show, which is Love It or List It.
Yeah.
So if the seller loves what you did and cancels the escrow, or the escrow doesn't close for whatever reason, that deed of trust then flips over to a loan at what terms? So
Funny enough, I come from a little market you might have heard of called the Hamptons. I worked there for 12 years as a real estate agent myself. And the first question I had joining the company was, what happens if they love it and don't want to list it? It's never happened. in 3 years. I'll tell you why. The first reason is that homeowner has already spent the money. You're like, hey, Mr. and Mr. Homeowner, you're gonna make, and they get this in a PDF from Haley. It gives them their projected profit. So you're like, hey, you're gonna make $164,000 more than you were. They've already spent that money. They're maybe not physically,
But they've already
might
spent
have,
their equity that's not there, okay.
but they've mentally like moved on, especially if they're a
But
serious.
what if it did happen? Because it could, right?
It could, if it did happen, what ends up happening is if they decide to keep the home and take it off market, we will invoice them within 2 weeks, and that is payable in 2 weeks.
Got it.
Motivation not to.
Yeah.
So yeah, as a listing side,
We
what's
know the
really
equity's already there, so they could go pull a second month. They can do it in 2 weeks, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Not
it's not
doing it when the
happened, but in
vision's not
theory,
there.
yeah, they could make something happen to pay that invoice, but the beauty is on the listing side, especially as the market changes a little bit. If a homeowner is like, you know what, I really, you haven't moved this in whatever 3 months, I want to take this off the market. You can be like, that's great, Mr. Seller, but if you do that, you will get an invoice in 2 weeks. So I highly suggest we reduce the price and you keep the listing agreement with us and we move on.
Well, that's a good thing to know and a good thing to say up front instead of at the end and have it be a surprise. Steve?
So I'm just curious, you stated that you're seeing an average of $2.3 return for every dollar. I mean, if I could do that, I'd remodel every house in town. So where are you getting the increased profit out of remodels? I mean, an average kitchen returns 86% of the dollar spent, not 150% or something.
That data is not a number I just pulled out of thin air. It's literally from a sheet that we have of every project we've done. And we keep track of the as its value provided to us by you, the agent, as well as we obviously check those values. But then we keep a track of the spread of the as its value, what the house sold for, the lift in value, and that number derives directly from that sheet.
Right, but are those numbers taken from pandemic season?
Those numbers are taken from.
I mean, I could have
150
house for 30% more in 1 year last year, but not this year. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of, we're learning as realtors that, market change makes a big difference in what's going to happen. So if during the pandemic, you were remodeling houses and selling them and making a 2.5% return on your dollar
In a rising market.
in a rising market, I mean, that's a whole different picture if it's not a rising market.
Yeah, what Steve's saying is we don't want to enforce the seller perceptions they already have of I want what happened then. So
Well, I don't
we
want
just have to be a little
go
more
to sellers and
conservative.
say, look, if you spend 20,000 with these people, you're gonna get 50,000 back. In your house is gonna be worth $50,000 more on that $20,000 investment. And then, as the market's either flat or shifting, 6 months from now, when the project gets done, you have to go back down to the price I recommended in the beginning.
Well, maybe if I can add on to,
Second loan on the house and they're pinched.
yeah,
I
so
think you're looking at as too much of a generalization, though. They're not going to see that number. So the estimate they get is specific to that property. I'm telling you, over the course of 350 deals, that is the average that we have seen. When you are presenting to a homeowner and we bring them an estimate that is specific to their home, they will see the exact price profit potential for that home in that exact moment, not in the past.
and they're a third party group, obviously, and so they might bring a proposal. And you as an agent might say, you can consult your seller based on this third party opinion, whether you endorse it on current market conditions or not. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's probably properties that are of a certain condition that make them prime candidates for this. And there's others that aren't that bad off at a starting point that may not be as good of a candidate for the project.
Exactly. And remember that the numbers come from you. So we rely on you to be the expert in the market. If you give us faulty numbers, we're not going to fund your project, frankly, because if you say the house is worth 1.1 as is, and then tell us the after renovation is 1.5, and we determine that after renovation value, we do check it. We have a deal desk that will go through and qualify that deal. We'll check those values with a third party and a bunch of different calculations we do. So if the math doesn't work out and we say, you say it says 1.5, but we determine current present conditions, the after renovation value is only 1.3, and the spread is only $200,000, and that homeowner isn't going to make enough to make the worth spending the money, we will not fund that project.
Anybody? Ken?
Just to be clear, are you the general contractor or do you hire a general contractor that the seller enters into a agreement?
In every state we operate in, whether it's Florida, Texas, or California, we are the licensed general contractor, fully licensed, insured, and bonded. So we are the GC, and then everyone else is a subcontractor.
Subcontract out, because you mentioned mechanics lien, but a mechanics lien occurs 60 days after notice of completion when money's not paid. I think you're probably just sending a pre-loan.
Well, that's why we don't use a mechanics lien. We use a deed of trust.
That's what I thought, because you mentioned mechanics lien earlier.
Yeah, it's just that some people are not familiar with the deed of trust, so I tell them, like, think of it as a mechanics lien. Just the operation is different. It's more flexible for us, but yeah, we use the deed of trust.
Okay, and then all of your subcontractors provide a 1-year warranty individually, as well as the general contractor.
Well, we do, that extends through to them. So if anything came up, it really comes to us.
You could have a subcontractor file a mechanics lien down the line if there was an issue.
And that gets into legal stuff that I'm not qualified for, but not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, thank you.
Good one. We didn't tell you were in the AP class this morning. Karen,
No, I appreciate it. I know from working as an agent in New York, we have strict, don't get into legal stuff.
All right, here's the next one. Karen.
So if you're not charging interest and you're not a not-for-profit company, and you're using subcontractors, that to my mind says that the cost to do the work is probably a little higher than if somebody or considerably higher. But that you're leaning into, here's what you'll get when you spend this money with us. Do you have any sense of what, if I was to hire a quality contractor to do the work and we were to hire you, what kind of differential our clients would see in terms of, I understand there's value here, because otherwise, you wouldn't do it, and the no interest is amazing. But still, there's got to be somebody has to get paid from something.
Yeah, absolutely. Great context and great question. So yes, we are for profit. Our revenue capture operates just like any other general contractor. In terms of pricing, I would say it's pretty on par with any general contractor that you're going to find. Ultimately, we might be a little bit higher. Part of that is because time does cost, money does cost something in the terms of time. And the other thing I would say is if a homeowner gets an estimate, let's say a project is 60,000 from some contractor that they know or have a relationship with, and our project costs 80,000. The real big difference there is not only are they at legal risk of if that contractor runs off or messes something up, they have to go after them through a court process and costly attorneys, etc. So they don't have to deal with that. The other aspect is, Haley might not appreciate this, but how I tell people to look at it is you kind of get a free interior designer. Like, no general contractor is like normally licensed.
A lot of work, Haley.
and skilled in like design in that aspect. So in some sense, it's obviously not free, but it's just a super added bonus that you're not getting with any other general contractor. And then the last thing I would say is that general contractor in that same example I gave, right? So if it's a $60,000 project, they are not going to touch a power tool or get in their vehicle until you wire them $30,000. Where we start the work immediately, it's already paid for. You don't have to worry about all of that aspect. You can keep that money, probably make more money in the meantime. And then the nominal lift of the difference of, in this example, it's $20,000. Like, what is $20,000 worth to you with all those other aspects? So the long and short is we might cost a little bit more, yeah, but I would say in the overall, it's actually cheaper than dealing with all the other stuff.
When you submit a proposal, of course, it's gonna have a price, and then it's also gonna have a time frame. Is there any guarantee that the work will be done in that time frame?
So, I mean, no GC ever is going to guarantee that work within that time frame, most likely. So I would say no. We definitely try to stick to it, simply because remember that we, of all the stakeholders in the situation, right? So there would be us, the homeowner, and then obviously you as the agent. Ironically enough, we probably have more of a stake in that happening faster than anyone else, because time is money. So we will do everything in our power to move that as fast as possible, but guaranteeing timelines, I don't know anyone that would do that ever.
Have you ever ripped up a floor and said, oh, we didn't know this was down here, and then it cost more to the seller?
So there are always they're called change orders within the scope. So yeah, there's certain situations that those happen, like you see them on those TV shows as well. We try to limit that from happening and doing our best to preemptively kind of plan for that. But yeah, there's always I mean, in 350 deals, yeah, we've had a few that were a little hairy. We've solved them, but you know, there's always something that comes up.
A lot of times we go into, you know, flips up here, and if you can tell, it's like a Orange County style flip. Everything's white and gray. And sometimes it looks really nice, and sometimes, you know, it sells just fine. But a lot of times it looks really not quite matching the style.
They're leaving that to buy a cabin.
Yeah. So my question is, does the owner or agent or both have any say on the style or the colors, things like that?
Yeah, good question. So the beauty with us compared to a competitor is all our competitors, to my knowledge, have what's called a lookbook. So think of it as like a website, and you go in and you select a template. We don't have any of that. So Haley in the room has full creative license to do whatever with that home as she sees fit for that locale of that home and the input of yourself and the homeowner. The homeowner has less input, not in terms of weighted input, which is, it's like I said before, we're designing for the masses to sell. We're not designing for the homeowner specific if they're looking to sell, right? So Haley would probably listen to your input more than the homeowner in terms of, hey, in this specific neighborhood, they use, I don't know, teal cabinets, like whatever it happens to be. I'll tell you, there was a project in San Francisco we did that was amazing. It was a beautiful living room, and they painted the ceiling a teal blue, like a cerulean blue. And on the face, you'd be like, that's insane. It looks weird. The thing sold in 6 days and was showcased on Zillow. Like, it was incredible. But it was specific to that project director, was like, hey, this area, it can do this and be creative. So we give them full creative license to assimilate to that exact spot. So Haley would take into account whatever your recommendations were in terms of that specific house, that neighborhood, et cetera, and we can do it that way. We don't restrict anyone from creative license.
Good questions. Pressure's on, Haley.
I love it.
All right, anything else? Oh yeah, one more.
How much mountain work have you guys done? I believe a designer knows how to, you know, design for the thing, but how much, if any, have you done here?
Are you asking me or are you asking?
I think.
Well, you're our project designer, so.
Yeah, I'm sitting in Florida, so me is 0.
I've done mountain work up here in Lake Arrowhead.
Okay, with
And I
this company?
So I'm an independent contractor with them, so with my own
Information.
company. But yeah, I have contractors with them.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the beauty is too, like, so for us,
Markets?
Hold on one sec. Go ahead, Steve.
Multiple markets?
Yep.
What is your area?
I do basically all of Southern California.
Also.
Yeah.
And you came from Claremont this morning.
Yeah.
Cool. Raymond, anything else?
yeah, so I was just saying the beauty is with us, is like, when you do a project with Haley and you're like, hey, I really like working with her, et cetera. All your projects going forward, you can specifically say, like, I want to work with Haley. We're not going to send you different people every deal, even though we have a fair bit of project directors in California. It's not like every time your point of contact changes. We really want to, establish a relationship, and you can continually work with the subcontractors, the project directors, like as you see fit. So like it's completely customized to you in that sense.
Anybody else?
I want to drag this on, but just
No.
one more quick question. So it said something about decluttering and that kind of thing in the beginning presentation. So do you actually offer like a staging thing, Haley?
We can add that to the proposal. And I can get a quote from the staging company.
Okay, so you would sub it to a separate staging place.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things what we offer within the services. We added staging, so we can do all of that for you, and then you just have to walk in with your camera and video, etc., and floor plans maybe, and just do all of that marketing aspect. But we'll handle the rest of it.
But this could work hand in hand with someone who does staging. I like it.
Yeah, the beauty is we don't have any minimums, right? So we could do just staging. If you had a project, you're like, hey, I have this, I don't know, whatever, making up numbers, a 4,000 square foot house, and we could do with some staging. We could do just the staging and like painting exterior, whatever it happens to be. But right now we have no minimums and no maximums.
All right, Raymond, I think we're good.
All right, well, have a
Appreciate
great rest of your morning. It's pouring here in Miami, so interesting.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so Jaylene, I'm gonna let you do the meeting and I'll be your clicker, although I don't have my little readers today because they're home, but I will do my best. So fire away.
We need to go, so the next, I need to get to the next,
No, don't touch keyboard.
but we're not on the right view of it.
No, it doesn't matter because the Zoom will go away if I take over the whole screen.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so click it one more time.
I'm clicking.
Oh, click can you hit the little?
You want me to hit the
button?
play button?
Yeah.
There's like a whole video in here.
No, just our top producers for May. Ray Hill team, $6,048,900. Mike Dolan, $5,024,000. Hirschler and Associates, $3,159,800,000. Mountain Resort Group, $2,100,000. And Easterby and Associates, $1,440,000 in gross. Right.
Let's hear it for the top producers of the month of May.
Yeah.
Do I need to hit the button again?
Yeah, just it'll tab to the next, well, I'm sorry, not that one, next slide,
Okay, well, it's playing a thing.
yeah. There, wait, we went backwards instead of forward.
Okay, let's go to, I got it.
Okay.
Oh, and there's another play button down here.
Yeah. So for our individual agents, which they're not here, we had Michael Hoffman, $1,335,000, and our newbie Allison Johnson at $1,222,022.
$1 million months.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on a roll.
Okay, so I think we talked about it a little bit in the last meeting that Destiny and I will have kind of created some smart plans in there for you guys. So these are just some examples of kind of what they're set up as templates for you guys. So you can go in and just pop your information in there. So the first week, it's a 4-week cycle for the smart plan. The first week, it's an events. So this is last month's stuff, and that's just like, there's more to it. You're just seeing the first part of the scroll. So the first week you guys can send out, it'll be events that are happening around the area. Second week, the smart plan will send out, you can send out the most recent listings that have hit the market. Next.
Well, let's just stop here for a minute because I don't want you guys to gloss over this. So we're really hammering home this 201 club, right? That you should have way more than 200 contacts in your database and then systematically communicate with them, right? So we're going to automate that part for you. So every month there's going to be 3 pieces, a what's happening in Big Bear piece, and then Arrowhead has a different one, but same template. Next opportunity is most recent listings. I'm like, well, why would I send out other people's listings, right? Well, we're only gonna showcase a couple of the most recent listings. And then it's always gonna say, click here for a full list or click here for more. Boom, that takes them right to your website. You're just trying to create interaction with your 201 plus people, hopefully 2,000 people. Then the third piece will be something we pull off, keeping current matters or some market
So
thing.
she actually has 4.
No, we went back to 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, I was looking at the last one. So, yeah, so she had, originally, we had a third, the third week would be another, what's happening, around town.
That's the one we killed.
Oh,
So
okay.
the third thing a month is like, here's what's happening with mortgage or what's happening with this, just a little, but it's not intended to like educate them from A to Z. It's intended to just touch, here's information, contact me for more. Now, if all of you guys are just emailing, and we know that a 36 touch cannot just be email, but we're not going to make the phone calls for you, but we're going to do the emails for you. So all you have to do is allow that smart plan to activate, right? There's not going to be any other agent's contact information on anything you send out because your little footer for all of this is going to have all of your stuff, your picture, your website. So these are just the little messages that get pushed out. So if you guys embrace this and work through the little kinks with us and you touch your database 3 times a month, we're just trying to create some activity.
Because as someone that answers the phone here, I can't tell you how many times somebody will call and they'll be like, yeah, I can't remember his name, but he worked for you guys. And I bought a house from him or he sold me, like they do it all the time.
Always.
Always.
Did you guys have a guy agent that sold me a house 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe a couple.
I'm joking. I get those calls. I get the calls all the time. It's the blue house on the boulevard. Okay, it's a bit of detective work sometimes trying to figure out who and what they're.
It all goes back to 80-something% of people say they would use their agent again, and then 17% actually do. So we're just gonna make sure that they get touched, lots of touching. Appropriately, lots of touching. Okay.
Because Dropbox it to us or.
It's in there. It's in there
So
as
you
like
have
a
it already.
saved.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in there as like a.
You'll go into Smart Plans, we'll tell you what it's called, and you'll say, apply this to all my contacts.
And we use it outside command.
Totally. We'll send it to you or screenshot it, do whatever you want to do. You turn it into a social media post, yeah. Totally. Okay, Big Bear Cares.
Big Bear Cares, let's see, we have year-to-date collected $5,077. Our current balance in there after, we've donated some money this year is $6,806.
We want to get up to 10,000, so thank you for that.
Yes.
This is next Wednesday. Can I do this one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so last Wednesday, I'm not allowed to tell you all the great stuff that happened, but there was great stuff that happened, and we said, look, get these people to show up on Wednesdays and we'll tell them the great stuff. But it was really good. There were about 6 of us in here and it went over an hour, right? So next Wednesday is not a mastermind. It's our monthly ALC meeting, which you're more than welcome to attend. You can't vote on anything if we take a vote on doing stuff. Like for example, the charger, the juice box charger that we have down there, it's not active yet. But once we have an account that allows us to get paid back for the electricity, then people can zap it and start using it. So coming soon, but anything we decide to do as a market center, that's what the ALC helps us with. So if you want to be involved in the conversation and hang out, come next Wednesday. And then the Wednesday after that, we'll get back to our masterminds. And then.
2 meetings coming up. Next Wednesday is just a regular office meeting. Same thing for June, regular office meeting. There is no general membership meeting at the board for July. So you guys have to come spend the morning with us.
Well, you're forced to hang out with us. Wants and needs, go around. Steve Hirschler, wants and needs. Back row. And stairs.
Looking for a fixer in Sugarloaf, if anyone knows of anything coming up, 2-bedroom at least, under 350.
Senior adult one.
I got one on the boulevard.
Me
2 bedroom, 2 bath. I'm not sure if I can make the tour, but it's on 100 by 100. 716 East Big Bear Boulevard, right there by Shore. And, it's got a garage, workshop, all fenced, pretty good buy. It's gonna go pretty quick. We won't be able to see it next week because it'll be in escrow.
All right.
Go see it.
We like this
Sell it.
positivity.
Ken,
I was listening at 1300 Malabar, that's on the corner of the 38 there and Malabar. It's 7 bedroom, 7 bath, 37, 45 square feet, over half acre. The seller just completed new siding, caulking, staining, paint throughout. So if you get a chance, take a look at it. If you get somebody in that price point, I'll put it on tour next week. I didn't do it before because it was enough out there. And then 1416 Klamath was at 674.9. It'll go live today at 629.9, and then some money for the furnishings. And the boxes are on the property now if you wanted to get into it today. Thank you.
awesome. Awesome. Colin,
Good, thank you.
Miss Karen,
I got a call from a past client that there's a woman that lives near him that I guess moved up here recently. So she's a really hard worker. She's in college and she's having a hard time finding a job up here. I don't. My sister is, okay. So if anybody knows anybody, I'm gonna put a call in her today, so I know a little better sense, but, like my client said, you know, during the winter, she was out there shoveling, because, you know, she just was, you know, like, shows up, suits up, and it's just hard to believe. I mean, all of us at some point maybe have needed to try and find some, you know, somebody good and can't, so. You know of anybody or hear of anybody, let me know.
awesome.
Yes, Holly,
Way
I'll
to
come
do
down
it.
if she wants to teach preschool.
Good. Mountain resort groups,
All good. My listing on Minton, we're gonna walk the plank, so be careful, probably not too many of us on the plank.
Just the one that goes like this.
No, it's,
Oh.
I told it to him in 2018, you might remember it, it was Bob Angelo's on Minton. It's got, literally, it's like walking the plank, it's really cool, it's like a tree house. You walk
The
out.
green one.
Oh, I know.
It's a cool house.
be careful on the
I'm
plank.
nervous about the plank, yeah.
We'll have one of her, okay, Peter. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably fine, but I don't want to be the one to find out if it's not.
Yeah.
With us.
You have been disclosed, your waiver has been mentally signed, be careful on the plank. All right, yes, ma'am. Okay, sorry.
Barker, is, getting on the books today. But I do have an offer on it, but I do, you know, I would love to have you come by just to look at it. You never know what happens this weekend, because we're holding off until Sunday for all offers.
Got it. Before we do the order, you guys know whose birthday it is tomorrow? Let's give her an awesome round of applause for how much we appreciate her. And I told her, and you know what I did? I'm such a great boss. I gave her Monday off.
Oh, you're just so wonderful.
All right, Mr. Dolan, what's our order? Oh, and you know what? Go ahead and
Hey,
take,
Jim.
go ahead and take one.
Jim.
Okay, 3, 4.
Hello?
Oh, wait, there's a hand over here. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, Donna's listing has cameras in, Donna's listing has cameras inside, so mind your manners.
Donna's listing has cameras.
Inside.
Cool. Anything else from the online community?
No, I'll be right there.
Okay, I thought I saw you earlier, yeah.
She was.
Okay, Mike, what do we got? 3, 4, 2, 1, 6, 5. All right, everybody. Be careful out there. Oh, raffle. The winner of this candle that is unused. You have to read that on my glasses. Just read the last 3.
872.
I did it yesterday.
Have a good tour, guys. So, yeah, good meeting. Running